That
Yes.
the right now is dead because I didn't go that way. I went the other way.
It's not dead. It's already in the quantum field. It exists as a possibility, like Schrodinger's cat.
Actually, you didn't let me finish.
Ah.
I don't believe that it died. What it did was it went on, and that one caused a whole nother life. Where I decided where that choice went to the right, it went into that quantum field. When I went to the left, I stayed in the quantum field that I'm already in, but the right went into another quantum field.
Who's animating the quantum field on the right?
You are.
So the choice that you're experiencing, taking the left fork on the road, a part of your consciousness took the right fork on the road.
That's
but
correct.
You're not remembering that.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with your reality. But that's going on in that separate journey. So every choice we have made has created
another reality. Yes.
But we're not aware of that, but we will be aware of that when we go back to the other side.
Exactly. And that's where all of your stuff comes back together. Because you said, well, how does it all combine at one time? That's when it all combines, when we all come back together at that one point in time, basically Starside.
Yes. And then our consciousness will then expand to all the experiences that have been created.
Left side and right side. Yes.
Yeah. And we could remember our lives as a dinosaur.
Yes.
We could remember our lives as an Eskimo 2,000 years ago in the tundra. I mean, we're going to be so super powerful. And the point behind all this experience is for entertainment, for experience.
And guess what you just said? The 2 E's out of illusions. What did you say? Entertainment and experience. And that's my litmus test to anybody that reads that book.
Yeah, but we are also here to learn that we're gods in the making, and we are creating our reality by what we focus our attention on.
Yes.
So civilizations in the past have learned how to do that, or have they? Because they've come and gone. Lemuria, I think it was Mu, and then there was Atlantis.
Yes.
So had they perfected causing reality, and then it all just imploded, kind of went, like an explosion, and then all died off because they'd gone too far, and what they had perfected was not being used for the good of the common man.
Which is kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, greed has got in the way, because we have so much food on this planet. There's no child that needs to be hungry.
Right. And remember what I said before, you can't have a utopia with greed.
No. So we've got to breed the greed out of us.
Right. Oh, and that was one of the things I wanted to bring up, because we talked about why we can't have a utopia. I'm sure you've seen the movie Avatar.
Oh, I love it.
Well, there you have a utopia right there. But guess what? Someone else wanted it.
Some alien came along and just took it over.
No, not some alien. Humans.
Humans. Yes, advanced humans with advanced machines.
Yeah.
Went and colonized the planet. But that's what happened when the English came over.
Yes.
We did the same thing. We just got rid of the Indians, didn't we? Just colonized the whole thing. So
again, humans.
Avatar was just an advanced. Yeah, humans. They're terrible people.
That's why I said it's human nature. We will never have a utopia because of that.
Hang on, you don't have that human nature, right? And I don't, and a lot of people we know don't. So it's not human nature; it's old human nature.
No, it's happening right now. It's not old.
Yes, but if you and I ruled the world, it wouldn't be happening.
That's true.
Give me a week and I'd have every starving child fed. Trust me, I would be hiring as many planes as I could and sending over baby food and formula. We would be doing all we could to spread the resources.
Yes.
That's what we would do. And there'd be a lot of people that could join that movement.
And not only that, but I mean, we're talking about feeding the world. What about just feeding our own people? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that there's places like restaurants that end up throwing away food. There's places that do.
You don't have children.
No.
And I can tell you the worst thing that you could possibly experience as a human being on this planet is watching your child starve to death.
Yes, I agree.
There's nothing worse than that. So I wouldn't go into a geographical situation. I'd go to where is the worst problem? And it wouldn't matter to me whether it was Haiti, Australia, wherever. Because Tony's like you. He'll say we've got to take care of America. But I'd go,
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we need to take care of America also.
Oh, also for sure, absolutely.
I'm not saying only. I'm saying also.
Well, open up the
Because
libraries again in
we don't
Florida.
we don't take care of our own unless there's a natural disaster like the hurricanes or the fire in Hawaii right now and stuff like that.
I think I might have put this in the Star Side Prophecy. These things come along to teach people camaraderie. You should be living like this without this fire. You
Yes.
should be checking on your neighbor,
Yes.
taking them a blanket, making an extra pie and giving it to them. You should be living
Yes.
as if, and that's kind of, I think, why the Weather Thaddeus does this, because they're a teaching thing.
Yes, I agree. Unfortunately, the people aren't learning.
Well, they're about to.
Yeah.
With us on the loose.
I certainly hope so. Believe me, that is my deepest wish, is that the people would start to learn and open their eyes and be able to see what's going on.
See, you will be able to see this subjectively. You can't help but read the Mirror World, and if you read it twice, it's really easy to read. And even if it's just once, or you listen to it, because I'll do some TikToks on this.
Yeah, you said you're going to do each one of the pages, right?
Each one. Yeah. And I've got this. I'll send you this. I've got this really nice little whiteboard video. And I'll send you, that's going to be overlaid on that. Now, people will be able to see subjectively this happen in their lives. They'll be able to watch their mind and they will be, oh my goodness. And they'll be able to make the correlation from themselves. So we're not asking anyone to believe anything.
No.
You'll just see it. And it's not just bad, it's good too.
Yes.
You help a homeless guy, you'd give someone a nice smile like you did the other day, and you told that police officer, and you just thanked her for all her sacrifice and everything. That you'll see the good karma come from that.
Well, not only that, but I see it being passed on from her to the others, because that's the whole thing. Especially when I know that there's no doubt in my mind, I could feel it the rest of the night. The day that I got pulled over in Key Largo after I just got off of the freeway going to a gig that I was going to down there, the highway patrol lady pulled me over. She gave me a speeding ticket for 55 and a 45. And I told her, thank you, and for doing the job she was doing. And I know that she went back and she said, you're not going to believe it. I gave this guy a ticket and he thanked me for it.
Yeah, it is kind of,
and even if it just brings a smile to their face for a half a moment, I've done my job, I mean.
Yes, you absolutely, because the trickle down effect is everything. So,
yes.
So my brother, he's a really, really nice guy, and you like him, but Roy, my stepfather, in my book.
Yes.
Mark, he's my older brother. He kind of had it worse than me. I went to Becky's, he stayed behind. Now Roy would humiliate him, make fun out of him, and all the rest of it. Now Mark had worked his way up in British Rail, and he was now a training instructor. He was number one seniority, 30 years. But what he would do, he would make his students feel quite uncomfortable. And he was telling me this when he came over 2 Christmases ago, and I hadn't heard any of this before. And he said, I don't want to let them know that they're doing well. I said, well, why wouldn't you tell them when they're doing well? He said, oh, no. He said, and he kind of watched them squirm a little bit. And I felt that he was abusing his position, because now they're unsure of themselves. Now they're insecure. This is a man's livelihood going on here, and he's now going to go home to his wife, the kids, and what you've done now is called a trickle-down effect of negativity.
Yes.
He had a bike accident. It was actually before he came over, 6 months before, and he was struck off the rail. He's not an instructor or even a driver anymore. And I thought, yeah, I can understand why that happened. Now he's going to get a big payout because his karma's amazing, because he's a great guy, but he was dealing with this childhood thing that Roy did. So he's going to get enough money to pay off his mortgage, because he was hit by a British Royal Mail van.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So he's going to get a big payoff on this, and that's all happening now. But I understood why he lost his job in a way, because all you've done is make all these people feel uncomfortable. Now, Mark was actually renowned in British Rail because the people that did pass under Mark's watch were considered really, really competent train drivers, and they all loved Mark. And he wouldn't pass you if you weren't up to speed. He failed a lot of people. So he was.
Well, that was probably a good thing at doing his job the way he was supposed to in that aspect. But
but toying with people slightly, I felt.
Yes.
And that's not good. And that's what Roy did to him. And then I think you'll be derailed, pardon the pun, at that point, because there's too much negative. It's not what you're supposed to be doing. Your gift isn't. You just shouldn't be. You can be a good instructor without making someone feel uncomfortable and insecure.
Yes. And I think that the idea is that, yeah, people respond to you saying they're not doing good enough, so they try harder. But sometimes people, when they're told they're doing good, try harder also.
Right.
They don't always kind of kick back and lean on their morals. I'm doing good. Oh, well, shit, let me do better then. I mean.
So Mark, so if someone said to Mark, "Oh, Mr. Durham, how am I doing?" he would just say, "I'll let you know when you're not doing very well." He would never give a compliment, never. But when he did, at the very end, when he passed you, and it was never, ever, he was so sparing, and he would just say, "Congratulations, you're a good driver." And that was it. He withheld any type of exalting someone. But the good drivers that he passed, they all loved him because their job was easy. They knew everything. They could become training instructors. So he was always respected, but it's just such a crappy way of...
Yeah, yes.
Because the trickle-down effect, that guy's going to go home. He's not going to, he's, "Oh, am I going to pass?" And Mark's been a bit of a dick, and his wife and his kids. I mean, the trickle-down effect is not good. You're not bringing a high vibration onto the planet.
Right, exactly.
And he kind of got knocked off his perch. And he's a lovely guy. I haven't painted a good picture of him, but he'd be the first to help you if you're on the side of a road, rescues animal. He's a great guy. But
that's his life. That's not his work.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like he's two different people with work and home life, as it were.
Yes, I think he had some authority and abused it.
Oh, that's a very good possibility too.
Yeah.
Although I don't necessarily know that he abused it if he made the drivers the way they are as good as they are.
All the management would say, Mark, the diamond geezer would be the phrase that you'd have. Diamond geezer, absolutely great, solid as a rock. If Mark has passed you, they know they've got a really good driver. So he was always exalted,
right,
which I think allowed him to be a bit arrogant as well.
Probably had something to do with it, no doubt.
But he'll find his roots and do something else. At least he's not hurting for any money. He'll be, he'll have to go on and find something else to do. He's a great carpenter, really. He could build a kitchen from scratch, a beautiful oak kitchen. I mean, he's going to have to do something, but he doesn't.
How old is he?
He's not really, a year older than me, 58.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And he's kept.
No, what I mean is that's not. It's not quite time to retire yet. At that point, so
he'd go ballistic. He couldn't retire. He's quite driven.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is when you. I could take 2, 3, 4 weeks off, but after that, I'd probably go nuts not doing anything, which is why I'm doing. Why I want to do this, because this is what I want to do for the rest of our lives. I mean.
Yes, exactly.
I think this is something to do.
It's why you were a DJ. It's why you have the skill set and all this knowledge you have. It's led up to this. This is what we're being used for at this time.
I will concur.
That's good. Well, it's great news about the radio. I'll keep you appraised with the website. Bank's open. Anything else you can think of? I'm going to start doing the TikToks now. Now I've got the video in, and that's not going to be much though. It's going to take me about probably a day, but I've already rehearsed. So when do you want?
Yeah, plus the fact that you wrote it. So I mean,
Oh, it's easy. Yeah.
Me reading somebody else's writing is a little bit more difficult, but if I was reading my own writing, it's a little simpler.
Yes. Oh, it's really, really simple. And so I'll have that done this week. So what we're going to have, and I haven't told him to publish it yet, but we'll have, I think it's going to be like 78 TikToks in abeyance. And then we've got the 55 chapters of the Starside Prophecy. Now, he's going to publish 3. I haven't actually checked. Maybe he already published them. I think I told him.
I know that there's 2. I've seen 2.
Okay.
I'm not positive about a third because I haven't been back for, I don't know, a week or so. So
okay, I asked him to do all 3.
Yeah, so there might be the third one might have been up.
Okay, I'll check. Now, what we want, so what time frame are we looking at to sort of launch all the products? Because the website will, by that time, the website will be functional. We'll have links to Amazon for the books. We'll have teasers for the radio shows. So we should go for a timeline. What do you think?
Well, I want to do it and have everything up and running by the beginning of the year.
So how many
But that
hours?
includes the radio station and everything.
Everything, all our products, every TikToks, YouTubes. Now, what was my question? Jesus.
Launching.
Hang on. Oh yeah. So how many hours should we have in the bank before we launch? Because I think we're going to have.
I can't give you an answer. Oh yeah, well
no,
yeah.
I know.
No, a part of that goes into. I still need to talk to the DJs and stuff that I'm looking to talk to.
Now, what we can do, we can launch and have it predominantly music, because all you do is put the music in the database. You and I'll just do the promos for it as if we're DJs, and a lot of it can be music to get us off the ground. And then
that's correct.
Integrating the shows. Not having the music, you'd never be able to do this.
Right.
It just wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, well, the good news is I got about 1 million songs, so I think we can pretty much cover most of it.
So we'll get together when the time is right, and we'll do the playlist. I'll come down, and then we'll record our little intros that go on each. So we're just going to be DJs talking about music.
Yes, basically.
And then we'll just do a massive load of those. I mean, I'm talking to make, like 100 hours or something.
Yeah, at least. I would agree.
At least. Now, if you and I are just doing a minute.
And remember, listen, we are now 1 hour and 20 minutes into this, and we now have 1 hour and 20 minutes worth of recorded stuff on the caster and the computer that I've just recorded.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be broken down. We'll take out the things that don't need to be spent.
Extracted, exactly. Because if we did to fill in the time, if we did to do this massive playlist and then just do our little intros, each of the intro will take maybe 30 seconds, a minute. It depends. It could be longer.
Right.
And then that we just snap that, and then we do the next one. That's going to really, really make a basis. And then in that will be the commercials for the Starside Prophecy, little interludes.
Yes.
So we just keep the recordings going, whatever they are. And I'll do some at my desk. But we've got to include other people. Got to have.
Yes, I have on top of that. Yes, I didn't mention that. Like I said, I just did it's hilarious in a way. I've been working with these people for years, and I had no idea that she was a school teacher. But I just did her retirement party. She finally graduated after 35 years, which was the joke that night. It took her 35 years to graduate from school. But her and her daughter are the ones that are in with the crystals. So they've got the
right.
What do you call it? God, I can't even think of the name right now. I'm drawing a blank on it, but they've got
what? The crystal healing.
Yes, but I mean the like a list of all these places and people that they deal with and stuff of that nature. They deal with Sedonas. Yeah. So we've got that, but
I think also what we should do when the time is right. Do you have a local newspaper like the News Leader where I found Ron?
We have the Sun Sentinel, if you mean a regular newspaper.
Oh, so what we should do, we should advertise in the Sun Sentinel, and we'll have a 1-800 number at that point. And then.
Oh yeah, that was something else I was going to say. We need to get an 800 number.
Okay, I'll do that then.
We definitely need to get one, and see if you can't get something that has either
1-1-1-1-1-1
or Terry Talk or something like that.
Yeah, that would. Well, let's see. Yes, I'll ask them whether you can choose a number.
You sometimes you can if it's available, spelling it out, with the numbers and stuff, depending upon the 800 number. I actually had one time a while back that I was 1-866. I buy for cash or something like that, because I was trying to do
that's a good one.
Flipping, not flipping houses, but doing like J.G. Wentworth does.
Huh. That's a good one.
So
so we'll look for a 1-800 number. Now the purpose of that.
And remember that it's not just 800; it's 866-888-8666.
Yes.
77. So
When
depending
I say
upon
at one
which
eight
one.
hundred, I'm just meaning that type of number.
Yeah, but what I mean is remember that those two other numbers after the 8 can be used as part of the telephone number.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have 1888 Zeta.
Yeah, or Terry.
Yes, if that's available. Well, that's 5.
That's
You
what
only
I'm
have
saying. So
4.
when you're thinking about it in that aspect, I just wanted to remind you that there's those extra 2 digits behind the 8 that
Yes.
might be able to be used.
Right, I see. Yeah. So what we need to do is advertise when the time is right,
Right.
and then so the person will call the 1800 number. You and I can answer, and then we schedule.
Which we're doing right now because, believe it or not, I've only got you on one line. I still have the Bluetooth line that's available.
Mm.
So the calls can come right in through.
Holy shit, that's great. So this is the prototype, isn't it, right now?
Yes. That's why I've been trying to call you the past week, is to do the prototype ever since I got the cord, so that I could make sure it worked right and that we could hear each other.
I was having a moment with my sleeping pillow.
And that's okay because now you're awake.
Well, now sometimes, Frank, I think I need to go through things in order to be able to have an opinion about them.
Yes.
And now to relate to people about them, because I can tell you what it means to go psycho on 5 days of sleeping pills.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I mean, it was a real eye opener. And there's not the only thing that hasn't happened to me in life is I haven't been raped. But I've been molested slightly. But other than that, there's not anything I haven't been through.
In this lifetime.
In this lifetime. So I could talk to anyone about anything.
Oh, and you haven't been murdered either, so.
I haven't been murdered. Well, there's room for that yet.
Yeah, well, you couldn't have been because I'm still here talking to you, so that's a good thing. And let's keep it that way. I like talking with you, believe me. It's brought my world back to being somewhat normal again.
That's good. Glad to hear that. Me too. But this idea of talking on the phone with you now, having someone to call in, and I think just doing an impromptu interview, and they can tell us about whatever their experience is. We can relate our experiences and have a nice conversation. It doesn't have to be a help me line, or it could be someone could call in and could ask a question, and I could say, okay, this is what I believe, and this is what I would do if I was you. It could be that.
Yes.
So in the ad, in the paper, we basically say, Zeta, this is the radio station. Would you like to be part and be one of the guests? So we invite guests.
Yes.
They don't get paid for this.
No.
But if they wanted to, they could advertise their business.
Oh, right? No, absolutely. Yes. So that's absolutely a part of it. Any businesses that would like to be a sponsor of the show.
Yes.
Could do that. So yes, absolutely.
Or it could be if someone wants to give us 15 to 20 minutes of their time, or even longer, however that goes, they can advertise on the website, or we just say, this is your, supposing they had a hardware store.
Yes.
You would just say that on the air, and you just give, and that would be us.
Yeah. When I need my tools, I go to Ace Hardware to get whatever I happen to need, because they're the place. Ace is the place to get what you need, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely.
Their business was, you know, it could be a crystal store in Miami or something. So
yes.
It's nice to be able to give us some acknowledgement back, and that's just going to fill in a lot of time. So we're going to have to be interviewing these. Which is
why I need to talk with the DJ that I intend to talk to tonight, because, like I said, he's got access to the bars, he's got access to the bands and stuff of that nature.
So if we went to, would that mean us going to a bar to interview people? What would
Not necessarily, but we could.
Right.
We could.
How would you deal with the sound, though?
Well, again, if we did this live, we'd just take the caster with us, plug it right in, and we'd record the band live doing the show and do the interviews in between.
And if we did the interviews in between, we'd have to go outside, though, because you'd have the ambient noise.
Yeah, but we could.
One of the videos that we did in down at the hotel, I could hear the
vacuum cleaner. Yes, yes, but you have to understand everything that you were getting off of all of those was from the cameras. None of that came from the caster. We weren't recording at that point.
Okay, all right, that makes sense then. So if we went to a bar and then we were talking to people about music, we could do that as an interview. You wouldn't have a problem, because I cannot stand listening to podcasts with someone who hasn't got the noise level right.
Right.
I can't stand it in the background.
Yes, and that's part of the thing is that we have to work on. You know, that again is things that are Still in the testing phase because I don't know exactly how to deal with all that yet, but it can be done, yes.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look into that. I mean, even having someone step outside. I mean, you have news reporters all the time holding a mic up to someone reporting about an incident, don't you? So the
Absolutely.
capability of that equipment's there. So we'll need to carry that with us.
Yes.
And if someone had to step outside, and that would be fine. But that would be great to record band music and talk to the people about the music or whatever they wanted to talk about. It's yeah, it's got so much scope and range. It's breathtaking, really.
Yeah, the whole idea that I want to bring back is that the guy that I'm getting the logo and stuff from, him and I actually started our own television station 30 years ago. It was called RMT, Rock Music Television.
Nice.
And that our goal was to promote local businesses, local happenings, events that were going on, stuff of that nature. So, socially speaking, we would be working the South Florida area, as it were, because it's what's known in that aspect for the audience and stuff. But at one time, like I said, Orlando had a Zeta station also, so we could do outside of Orlando, we could do the same thing. I just don't have any connections in Orlando that do the things that I have here.
Yes, and that area is my old stomping ground. I'm so familiar and comfortable down there.
So, see, that works in that aspect, so that all of that kind of sort of works to our advantage, as it were.
And then it just expands.
Yes.
Because at that point on a radio, that gets out there. And then, so if someone wanted to play our internet radio in Bangkok, could they?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
All you have to do is invite them. And what I mean by that is there's a thing you send out, which is kind of one of the reasons I want to talk with the guy, because he's got, all the bands that he works with, the bars, everybody that you have, everybody that I have, everybody that the people that the Rock Crystal people have, they all have their email addresses and or some sort of way of getting in touch with people. Plus, we put out information, i.e., like you said, the newspaper that Zeta's coming back. We do social media with it on Facebook and stuff like that. Facebook is everywhere. We even put it on our the YouTube channels and stuff like that. People will catch it in that aspect. When we do the interviews, like you said, that would be done with a camera and a microphone. So, yeah, we can do that on the outside.
Now, the interviews don't have to be done with a camera, though. I mean, you're saying now you could patch someone in and they could be part of an audio conversation.
I'm saying we could do the whole thing and with what we're doing, run it through the radio station as well as YouTube, running the video of the bands playing.
Oh, the video of the band's playing. Okay, I'm talking. Okay.
Yeah, no, but my point. Yeah, but that's why that's why we have a camera, because we can do the video, and we can at the same time do a commercial from the location. That we're here live at Shooter's Bar and Grill. Come on down and join us. Nobody's Fault is playing tonight. Here's a preview of what they're playing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you've done three things. You've advertised the band, you've advertised the location, and we've pushed ourselves.
And, like you say, you've advertised the band. So the ripple down effect is great here.
Yeah.
And you're entertaining people. I mean, it's such a...
And like I said, we have a name brand recognition to start with.
I know.
That Zenith, nobody else has.
Zenith, ETA.
Exactly.
We'll have to have T-shirts for that. We'll have Zeta, and then we'll have to break down what it means.
Yes, the letters will have to go down. Well, actually, Zeta could go down, and the letters could go across. That would be different.
What? Say that again.
Right now, Zeta is written across like it is in the keychain. I said the letters would have to go down, but then I but I changed it and said, no, we could put Zeta straight down and the letters go across for the meaning of what the word is. So in other words, Z would be the ding, and then E would be.
I wouldn't change how people visually recognize that. So I'd keep it horizontal and then just have the letters come down, Zenith. and you spell it out,
Right.
estimated time of arrival, and people will be able to read that. You could actually do it on the slope, but I would keep zeta going horizontally. You don't want to change any brand recognition, and if you did it vertically, it's not going to give them the same visual. But I think putting the acronym, because it's very funny. What's your estimated time of arrival before you get to your zenith? And then what's the zenith? Well, it's when you can check out of this planet, when you've learned all your lessons.
When you move up to the next level of the video arcade game.
Exactly. When you've ascended into the next hologram.
Yes.
Oh, God. That's so funny. Oh,
it is. And the thing about it is it's not unrealistic. I mean,
no, it's not. Not with our skill sets.
No. I mean, it might have been, like you said, 5 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
But we are able to do what we're talking about right now, you know,
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. The time is right.
Exactly. And I don't want to, I mean, like I said, I've been trying to do as much as I can to learn.
Well, let's shoot for the 1st of January, right? And in the meantime, I'm going to start recording content. It's just going to be really, really good to have a lot of backup MP3s.
Yes, and not only that, but you and I are going to be talking like this considerably,
Yes,
so we'll be having all of this
we'll
also.
do that. We've got to do this twice a week.
Yes, at least.
Yes, at least.
Yeah, and each time we need to keep it about 2 hours worth of talk, like we usually have done anyway.
Yes.
You know, it's not something that's out of our wheelhouse talking 2 hours. I mean, I've got one where we talked for 4 hours at one time. So
I know. I read this the other day. It was on a preacher